All right, guys, welcome to middle school ELA here at iCademy Global. We are going to walk you through today some really important things that you need to know in order to feel like you're ready to rock this whole thing called virtual learning. And so my end in mind for this is that you guys have your notebook out in front of you. You're ready to take some notes on the things that we talk about in this presentation, and then there will be an assignment at the end of this that you guys will need to complete. So here we go. So one of the biggest questions that I get with virtual learning is the schedule. What do our days look like? And we like to use the phrase structured flexibility when we talk about our schedule for you guys here at iCademy Middle School. 2 mornings a week, Monday and Wednesday mornings, we do have a pretty solid structure for you guys to follow. We do this to ensure that collaboration and community are being built. We do this to ensure that you guys know how to create a schedule, stick to a schedule, and then, follow through on a schedule. We do this to also ensure that you guys are having healthy breaks that really give you your brain and your body a time to, step away from the computer and truly take a well-needed and well-deserved break. And then it also gives you some time to collaborate with people around you regardless of location or time zone. So on Monday and Wednesday mornings, the schedule that's on this screen is what we encourage you guys to follow. We expect you guys to follow, okay? And then that means on Monday and Wednesday afternoons, and then Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, you guys have the full flexibility to do what makes sense for you and your family. We really encourage you guys to continue a schedule of some sort, however it makes sense for you. So you guys get to decide on those other days. Are you going to start with ELA? Are you going to start with electives? Are you going to start with math, science, social studies? What are you going to start with? And then follow that schedule and include in that schedule these brain breaks and these snacks and that time to check out from the computer and give your body and brain what they need. These things are going to be available to you guys. We have a whole bank of brain breaks that we have for you. And so we really want to encourage you guys that regardless of what your schedule is, having a schedule and keeping a schedule is extremely important to us. So speaking of live lessons, what's the big deal about them? Well, first of all, they are a big deal because they are live. We get to interact with one another live, just like you would in a brick and mortar classroom. The schedule is important because we have spent hours really tweaking and making sure that this is a schedule that is just right for your age group. It is a time to collaborate with your classmates without having to leave the comfort of your own home and without having to leave the country or city or county that you are a part of. This is a time where we are going to do hands-on learning. It's where you're going to need your things like your notebooks or your beakers or your whiteboard and your whiteboard marker. It's going to be a time to learn together, and it is something that us teachers put a lot of heart and soul and time and energy and effort in, and we expect the same out of you. Those live lessons are the work for that class for that day, and we will be taking attendance in those live lessons just like you would in a brick and mortar, and they will be found in Zoom. And so that is going to be something that is going to be exciting, and it's going to be 2 mornings a week. And so this schedule that you see right here is the live lesson schedule that we're going to follow, and we're going to talk a lot about this in order for you guys to feel like you're on top of things. So in ELA specifically, I want to kind of talk about some expectations that I have for you guys as learners and what you should have for me as your teacher. I have 2 kind of rules or expectations in my classroom: to work hard and to be kind. Okay? I do not tolerate unkindness. That is the one thing that I am a really big stickler on. I believe that we all have this ability to connect with one another. We just have to figure out what it is that we can connect on. And I also believe that even if we don't get everything right, if we are still working hard in the process, we're still learning something. And so those are the 2 expectations that you can expect from me. I will work hard and I will be kind. But the same applies for you. I'm going to expect those 2 things out of you as well. Now, ELA is all about reading, writing, and grammar, and we're going to be doing those three things throughout the week, every single week. We're going to talk a little bit in the next couple of days about figuring out what your Just Right book or what your JRB is. This is something that you always need to have on you at all times. It's a personal book of your reading choice, and you will have an expectation that you should be reading every single day, just like in any other brick and mortar. You will also have Just Right book reflections due every so often to show me what you're reading. Honestly, guys, you guys are the best recommendation of books for your grade levels that I have, and I try to read what you guys are reading to keep up with things. And then we are going to also make sure that we learn together through reading in class read alouds. And so I record myself reading books to you. I do read alouds all the time because I just believe that there is power in read alouds, and we'll have reflections and projects and papers that go along with those read alouds as well. Every single book that I choose for a read aloud follows the theme. Learning who you are is what you're here to do. And it also follows the theme, stepping outside of our comfort zone is when we grow the most. And so we're going to look at books about people who have had different experiences from us, who maybe have different circumstances than we do, but every single one of them can teach us something not only about ourselves, but about the world around us. So that's reading for ELA. Another piece of ELA is the writing component. We are going to be doing different pieces of writing, formal pieces of writing, but we're also going to be doing note-taking. I'm a huge stickler for taking notes, and we're going to really be working hard on why notes are important and how do we take notes that fits us as a learner. And then we will also be journal writing every single week. This is my son, Reed. He's in gymnastics right now. Say hi, Reed. No? Okay, go potty. Love you. And we are going to be journal writing every single week. And that is why I asked you guys in your supply list to make sure that you had two different notebooks, one for notes, for note taking, and then one for journal writing. And that journal writing, guys, it's yours. It's personal. It is just a chance for you to do a bit of your brain and of your words. I do the same thing, and I'll sometimes share with you what I'm writing, and then I'll offer it to you that you can share with me what you're writing. I will do probably a selfie note check on the journal and notes that we are doing for the week. Just take a little picture of you in your notes or your journal and just send that in to me, but I won't read it. I'll just make sure that you're doing it just for accountability, right? Middle school is the age in which accountability becomes essential. This is where we learn those healthy habits. And so that's kind of what you guys can expect from ELA this year. So here's kind of the nitty-gritty things. We talked about writing, we talked about the notebook and the ELA notes and the journal here, okay? So be looking for that. We're actually going to be starting that next week. This second one here, the planner and the calendar, Mamma Mia Quesadilla, this is one of the most important skills that we are going to be working on this year. How do I plan? How do I stick to a calendar, and what type of calendar works best for me as a human and how my brain works? We provide you an electronic calendar that shows you all of the items in which you need to do this week and every day. And then it also has a due date with you that shows you when things need to be due and when things need to be turned in. So this is something that is so important for you. And then collaboration in ELA is obviously essential too. We're going to have writing partners, discussion boards, conferences, classes. All of this increases that and enhances that learning community. So another common question that I get is, how will I be graded? And just like in a brick and mortar, there are a lot of different ways in which you can be graded. Obviously, the daily work that you have is going to be taken into consideration for your grade. That does not mean every single thing that you do that gets turned in is the only thing that's going to be a part of your grade. There are sometimes going to be things during your day that you have to just read to prepare you for something that you're going to turn in tomorrow. But reading that thing is essential. Skipping over that is going to make you feel like, whoa, what in the world? What's going on here? Participating in class, in live lessons, in discussions, really finishing your work in that high quality that we are expecting, going into the virtual offices, asking questions, collaborating with one another, finishing your projects, your assignments, your quizzes, and your test, all of those things are going to be a part of your grade. You're going to be able to check your grades and your progress right through your dashboard on Connexus. Please know that participation is counted for your grades. So if you're just kind of clicking through things, I'll be able to see that. I'll be able to see that Johnny only spent 2 seconds on a slide, whereas Susie maybe spent 2 minutes and then was able to really give me a beefy answer to the assignment that was attached to that because she actually spent time reading that. And so we're going to go through your performance tab later and talk about how specifically you can see your grades and how your parents will be able to see them as well. And so this is something that is just really important to know in all of your classes, not just ELA, but Spanish, science, social studies, math, all of your classes. Plagiarism. It is absolutely unacceptable here and everywhere, okay? Plagiarism is copying websites, images, texts, or another person's work without giving credit and or correct citations to that work. If plagiarism happens, you will have to do the assignment over again or the assessment over again, and if it happens more than once, further consequences, including zeros or even failing grades, will happen. Your parents are involved in any sort of plagiarism experience that you guys have, so just know that plagiarism does not fit either of those two expectations that I have for you, right? Plagiarism is not showing that you're working hard, and it's not showing that you're being kind to the people whose work you're copying. So plagiarism, unacceptable. Avoid it. Don't do it. I want to hear your work, not the work from other people. All right, dudes, if nothing else, hear me on this. The virtual office is your best friend. Use it. Connect with your teachers. Connect with your students that you're working with on projects or assignments. The virtual office is such a powerful tool. Here we can hang out with each other. We can have announcements going on, and it doesn't matter where we are physically in the world. We can work with partners on projects, on assignments. This is where us teachers live every single day, all day, from 9 o'clock until 3 o'clock, to answer your questions, to work with you one-on-one, or to just simply connect and have some fun. The virtual office during school hours should be your first line of communication because that is where we will be. Virtual offices have the same sort of etiquette that a classroom has. So shouting in all caps, vulgar language, inappropriate use of texting or emojis, all of that is just unacceptable. So know what those expectations are. Please also know that when we're in the virtual office, we could be working with multiple kids at the same time. And so just like in a classroom, if I was working one-on-one with someone and you were like, Miss Mel, Miss Mel, Miss Mel, Miss Mel, that would be interrupting. And so we would need to be working on patience in that brick and mortar classroom, just like we would need to be working on patience in the virtual office, okay? Think of the VO as your classroom that is open to you every single day, all day long, and the end in mind for it is for us to be there to help you. Parents, you can also join into that virtual office if you have questions for us during the school day as well. And then questions that come after the school day, we're going to talk about in just a second. So questions during the school day, the best way to reach us is via email. And so what we're going to do today for our assignment is actually practice that email together, okay? So your homework for today is to ensure that your Outlook is working and that you have a direct connection to me via email. So you are going to send me an email by following these directions. You're going to click on the blue Outlook icon that's on the bottom part of your screen. And in the to line, you're going to type my email address, melissa.zorhoff@icademyglobal.org. Please note that my first name has 2 L's and 2 S's. In the subject line, you are going to type your name and your grade level. And in the body of the email, you're going to greet me politely, right? Just like you would in real life, face to face. You're going to tell me 3 great things about your summer. You're going to tell me 1 thing that's important for me to know about you as a person. You're going to share with me your birthday so I can write it down in my planner. You're going to sign off by saying something like, see you soon, thank you, or adios. And then you're going to type your full name and send it to me. I will send you an email back confirming that I got your email, and I'll also save your email and put you in a group so that I can communicate with you guys via email as well. So it's time for your first assignment of the day for ELA. Go ahead and send me an email now. Thank you.